Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Simon Whistler Show with Sam Myers. Sam Myers, what's going on?
What's going on? I'm Movembering, and it doesn't matter what date you're watching or listening to this. That was a terrible bit of English. That was, wasn't it?
Is Movember? Are you doing something for charity, or is this just you grow a moustache in support of prostate cancer or something weird like that? And I'm not really sure how growing a moustache supports. Is it prostate cancer?
Yeah, it's a sort of global initiative to bring awareness for for prostate cancer. However, as people may know, we live in the Czech Republic, and it's not really picked up here that it's a charity thing. So I think, as far as I'm aware, everywhere across the world there's a big party at the end of the month where everyone with a mustache goes, and you have to have a mustache to get into the party.
Okay, I'm already set.
And wait,
can you have a beard at the same time?
No.
Oh, I'd have to shave off.
You have to shave off your beard.
But I have a terribly unimpressive chin. So
it is funny when you watch you through the years of your YouTube career.
Oh yeah, I grew like a huge the beard gets bigger, it gets longer, it gets shorter, all that stuff. So you go to a big party at the end of the month, and you can only get. Is there a party here in Prague, or are you?
I'm sure there is. If I'm honest, I'm doing this for my own sort of personal reasons.
Satisfaction.
Exactly. It was just, let's see if I can do it. In every single year, I try and grow a beard at least once, and I have a pitifully bad beard and mustache. So most people will not even be able to see this if they're watching the video.
Dude,
they won't know.
It's looking pretty good.
It might look good from where you are, but
I'm a normal distance from you in normal life.
Well, thank you very much. Very kind.
Anyway, let me just talk about what we've got coming up today. I know you've got a couple of stories as well, which you can tell me about. This episode, well, the first two are actually ones that we did in our unaired pilot, which is what I've started calling it because it sounds super professional. Mm-hmm. And that is how you can easily find out how successful scams are. So you know those scams you get in your email inbox? You can find out how successful those are with relative ease. This is not a surprise to you, because this was all in our unaired pilot.
Tell me more.
Then the second one that was also in our unaired pilot, but is absolute gold in every way, is just how crazy carbon monoxide is. And we had something that came up in our unaired pilot. I think I'm just trying to get a record of how many times I say that. We had a question that we didn't know the answer to, and it persistently bugged me. And I looked it up, and I found the answer, and it's super interesting.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, and then I think we got a couple more. Oh yeah, seeing the world upside down. Just have that one as we'll just leave it at that. Seeing the world upside down. People could probably guess what it's about, but there's more to it.
It's an album name, isn't it? That's a great album name.
We had a band. Oh, you do have what is the name? You played in a band.
No, I didn't. Not since I was 15.
What was the name of your 15-year-old band?
Commander Kenny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. We were full of angst.
No doubt. And then, I got an idea for a segment. So on one of the channels that I do on YouTube, we have top 10s. And one of the ones that does really well is Darwin Awards. So we talk about who recently took themselves out of you familiar with Darwin Awards?
Yeah, I know the Darwin Awards.
So people who took themselves out of the gene pool, either by having, an accident in their nether regions, making them infertile, or just killed themselves by some stupid action or got killed. It's a little bit morbid. We'll definitely never make any money off it because it'll be demonetized. But people love it, and it could be good for channel growth. So I thought we'd do that.
Good.
And that's my 4 for this episode. I think I got 4 stories loaded up today. And then, would you have one for this episode? Load up your doc. Do you want to do one?
We can do one. Yeah, cool. That's so maybe we could do the teeth cleaning habits of ancient civilizations.
I heard they did it with sticks. Don't tell me.
Oh, you're jumping ahead.
No, I realise bad behaviour, bad pod. We'll get to it later, obviously. Should we crack on? Well, first of all, I even made some notes, so I actually sound like a competent podcaster.
Oh, fantastic.
If you aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel version of this podcast, subscribe. Smash that notification bell. If you haven't checked out the highlights version, if you don't like the long form, maybe you don't want to sit down and watch an hour of podcast. Maybe you want it sliced up into nice little snackable bits of content. We do that too. Just check out our highlights channel, link to below. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, well, thank you very much. The CPMs are a lot higher when someone does that, so I get paid more. It's good. Leave us a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it's now officially called.
Or wherever you get your pods.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Should we talk about how you can easily find out how successful scams are?
I would love to talk about that. How can we do that?
You must have had these, right? I don't know how often you go through your spam folder, but I'm always, because I have a public email address that comes into my Gmail, and the Gmail filter is pretty hot on spam. Like 99% of the time, it's amazing, but a lot of like, business emails or stuff that comes in for the first time as someone reaching me, it goes to my spam. So like every few days, I'll just whip through it and see if there's not something telling me that, I need to buy Viagra pills, or that I'm horribly in debt, or some Nigerian prince is coming to give me money, all that stuff. There was a great scam recently that I was almost, this happened to my wife. She got an email and it was this was a new one to me. It looked like it was sent from her.
Ooh.
From her old email address, which she hadn't accessed in ages, to her new email address. And I'm not sure how it worked. Maybe she was getting it forward. She was getting it forwarded to her Gmail or something. It doesn't matter. But it looked like the sender had broken into her old email account. And I didn't realize that you could spoof something like that, which I've since boned up on and found out that this is the case. Anyway, super legit looking. And it's like, hey, we've taken pictures of you on your... doing naughty activities and I've got dozens of these. Maybe you've seen them as well. Like,
what?
You're looking at
dozens of pictures or dozens of these spam
no,
messages?
Well, both, man. How's your audio looking? Are you spiking at all? I just hear you a little hot.
I
You're
don't.
doing okay?
I think I'm okay.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
right.
Let's not
I'm
sweat.
right. What am I?
Your mic
two?
discipline is spot on though today. Like last time I was editing it and you were a bit
forward.
Yeah, you were a bit back and forward, but now I appreciate that.
I
appreciate you get better. Like, dude, I work with No, I'm going to be slamming people I work. Be like, people, yeah, that was a bit hot.
That was definitely a click.
But I don't know, more people I've worked with in the past, people just don't learn quickly. I appreciate how quickly you learned how to become a podcaster and became really good at it over like 3 episodes. So, yeah, anyway.
My notes for myself were talk less, talk quieter, talk slower.
Well, you're doing a great job. Now get close to that mic.
Yeah. I feel like I'm clicking about a bit, so
just turn it down a little there on. You're the
Am I channel 2?
You're the first dial, big red knob at the top.
Big red knob.
Just turn that down a tiny bit.
Hello.
That should be better. Don't worry about
That's
it too
much better. There
okay,
we go.
Good.
Good.
So basically you get these emails and within the email it'll say like, hey, we've got pictures of you through your webcam while you're polishing the rocket to some dirty websites. That's
the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Dude, there are so many of these.
So many.
Bashing the bishop
All right.
is always a classic, and I like the alliteration. Isn't there that drinking game where you go rounds and you have to come up with words for masturbation or phrases like that, and then when you haven't got one coming up, you have to drink. So you drink. Bashing the bishop.
If there's not, there should be. That sounds great.
we should do that. Probably not on this show. So you get these things and it says like, hey, I'm going to send this to all of your contact lists. You can see I've broken into your email. So, this is going to happen unless you send me like $1,000 through Bitcoin. The cool thing about Bitcoin is it's like a public ledger, right? So if I wanted to transfer you money, no one knows it's Simon sending Sam money, but they know that it's, Bitcoin wallet 12987X4 sending Bitcoin wallet 98F21 money.
That's completely untraceable, isn't it? Pretty much in terms of like person to person.
Yes, it's completely anonymous, but it's entirely traceable, which is interesting, right? And so what you can do is you can also look up someone's Bitcoin wallet. So you could go onto this website. Just load it up there.
The first one.
It's the...
Oh, here we go.
No, load the second link right there. The first one.
Here we go. We're gonna click that link.
Open that up and then zoom in because this is so small. I can't see anything.
Sorry.
That's all right.
It's my owl vision.
Okay, yeah. So this, I didn't actually have one of these spam ones, so I just pulled this up from someone who did this last year. And so you can see all of the transactions that have been made to the Bitcoin wallet that's trying to scam you. So you can see how many people have got this email and have been suckered in on it. And this ran over like just a couple of days. And there were loads of transactions, people paying like tens of thousands of dollars in.
We're in the wrong job.
Well, yeah, dude, you've got to become like a Russian hacker or like a spammer or a scammer or whatever you want to call these guys. Scammers. Yeah, so this is super effective. I just found it super interesting that you could go in, you can look at that Bitcoin wallet address, and you can see just how successful the scam that's targeting you is.
Well, I find this truly surprising that this many people actually fell for the scam. Like, this is...
It's really convincing, dude.
I'm wondering if it's all older people, or is it because I don't know if I'm in the minority, but I'm one of those people that covers my camera. Like,
oh yeah, there's a sticker on there.
There is a sticker right on here. Yeah. No one's gonna catch me bashing my bishop. No.
It's like, I saw that Snowden movie. They spy on you all the... Have you seen that?
I've not.
Dude, it's so intense, and it's just so based... Before the Snowden leaks, if someone said to me the government's spying on you to the level that they were, according to the Snowden leaks, I'd be like, you're crazy, you're paranoid. And now I'm like, oh no, they're definitely spying on you.
Yeah, everyone's watching.
But they don't care.
Everyone's watching and listening. But no, I'm kind of wondering if this is like older generation or younger generation, or is it like, what do we know what the demographic is? What's the...
Well, the only one I was concerned about was when I saw it from my wife on my wife's computer, and she was like, is this legit? And I was like, well, they don't have photos of you because that's just impossible. But they do. It does seem like they've broken into your old email account. So she just went in and reset the password and whatever. But it's kind of...
We're a step further than you, hackers. This is...
Well, yeah. I don't know. It's a weird one.
I can understand why you'd worry, but I mean, how much is a Bitcoin these days? How much does a Bitcoin?
It's about $7,000.
God, these guys are raking it in.
Nah, because they just asked for like $1,000 in Bitcoin, so they're not asking for a single Bitcoin. Because I think there's got to be. It wasn't even $1,000. It was a few hundred. Because I think most people could probably stretch to a few $100.
Yeah,
most people definitely can't stretch to $7,000.
Well, but here we go. Like total sent, total received, 3.350, so on Bitcoin. This
was last year, which I'm not sure what the price was, but
was roughly $20,000.
Oh, it was crazy last year. That wasn't the year before.
Or was that the crash?
No, the peak was
20,000,
and now it's at 7, just because I looked it up today.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I mean, this guy made a bunch of money, and that was over 2 days, I think. So he made... what, at a minimum, $20,000 over 2 days.
Yeah. Well, I got to say that spammers have taken a few steps forward. Then, like from...
It's pretty legit, right?
From I'm your Nigerian prince cousin, and you're set to inherit 50 million yen, not yen. What do they have in Nigeria?
I don't know. I really don't
know. That's not even just.
Let's just say Nigerian dollars.
Nigerian dollar.
I don't know. But those people still fell for and send money and all of that stuff. So, should we do another story?
Yes.
I want to talk about carbon monoxide. I heard... So, it was a Reddit post that I saw ages ago. Can you zoom in on that?
I can zoom in.
Just zoom in on that.
Here we go.
Because then I can...
Oh, there we go.
So that we could keep a better track. I've actually got it open in front of me as well, so I don't know why I'm complaining. But... I was on Reddit. It was years ago, and I saw it was an amazing post, and I've really tried to locate this. Where basically there's someone, they live in an apartment building, and they're saying the carbon monoxide at the beginning really spoils this, but it's going to be in the title, so there we go. He lives in an apartment building, and he's written a letter to his landlord. And it says, hi landlord, I think I'm having some problem with the upstairs neighbors. They bang on the floor at night, and I can hear it in my apartment. And it's got a little bit weird because now when I move around my apartment, they're banging where I am.
Ooh. It's like Celestial Minesweeper.
Right, it's super weird.
Warships.
And then the letter goes on, and it says, I'm pretty sure they know where I am in the apartment, so I think they're spying on me. They've probably installed cameras. I can't find them or anything like this, but I know they're there. And you're reading this letter, and you're just like, man, these neighbors are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with these neighbors? And then then you look at the bottom, so you've read the letter, and then the Reddit commenter says like a letter from a schizophrenic to his landlord.
Oh.
And it's just like that chills down the spine.
But all in the wrong way.
And dude, I wish so hard that I could have found this letter, because it's just so chilling.
It sounds like thrilling and chilling at the same time. This is like the perfect mix. That's horrible. That's like horrible and incredible.
So I couldn't find this on Google because it's so good. It's so much better than my lame retelling of it. And I put it out on Twitter and I was like, hey guys, does anyone know about this? And people were like, no. But they did point me to that link there, which is another Reddit thing. So open up that link.
Let's open up that link. Here we go.
And this was this wasn't from a schizophrenic. And this was posted in legal advice. So like a Reddit subforum where people genuinely seek legal advice. So just zoom in on that so I can read it.
Yes, here we go.
So shall I just read this and we can read it until we get bored?
Yeah.
On the 15th of April, I found a yellow post-it note in handwriting that wasn't mine on my desk, reminding me of some errands that I had to do, but told literally nobody about it. While odd, I chalked it up to something I did in my sleep, thinking maybe in my half-awake state I scrawled it so it didn't appear to be in my handwriting. I threw it out and thought little of it. On the 19th, I found another post-it note on the back of my desk chair in the same handwriting as the previous note, telling me to make sure I saved my documents. I was freaked out, but there were no other signs of a break-in, so I set up a webcam in my house, aimed at my desk, and used a security cam app to record after detecting movement. On the 28th, I woke up to find another post-it note, this one saying, our landlord isn't letting me talk to you, but it's important we do. I immediately checked the webcam's folder, getting creepy, right? And found nothing from the night before, but my computer's recycling bin had been emptied, which I'm certain I did not do recently, indicating someone had noticed the webcam and deleted the files.
What?
Today, on the 1st of May, I found another post-it note, this time on the outside of my door with nothing written on it, and there also appeared to be post-its on many other doors in my apartment complex, all blank in varying colours. Do I have any legal recourse here? I have no proof except for the post-its, but those are written by my pen and on my post-it notes, so conceivably I could have faked them. Would contacting the police get me into trouble if they can't determine an outside source for this? I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting everyone's time. So...
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I'm like, this is good. It's not as creepy as the one from before, but it's still pretty creepy. And I'm reading this and I'm thinking, all right, so he's schizophrenic or something. The top post from Reddit is absolutely incredible. And I think this is one of the greatest Reddit things ever. So some guy called Kakalak replies, and he says, you seem sincere, and this doesn't appear to be the plot of a Ray Bradbury short story. It's possible that your landlord is leaving notes inside your apartment, but they don't make any sense in the context you're describing them. It's like you're writing the notes yourself, but you're forgetting. Do you use post-it notes as blah, 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 blah. This might be a mental health issue, but you might be experiencing some sort of dissociative disorder, or it might be a physical problem. You mentioned you have a very unusual narrow bedroom with no windows. Is there a chance you're not getting enough ventilation where you sleep, or that there is a carbon monoxide leak in the building? A cheap carbon monoxide detector, which you should have anyway, is a fast way to find out. Also, if you've got really bad headaches. Don't click on the rest. I know the rest of the story. So it turns out he was getting headaches. He buys a carbon monoxide detector, and it's a carbon monoxide problem. And I had no idea. Like, I thought carbon monoxide, I don't know about you, but carbon monoxide is that thing that leaks and it makes you red and then you die in your sleep.
Comes out of cars.
Comes out of the exhaust of cars.
The exhaust of cars, yeah.
Like if you're working in the garage, and then you die.
Yes.
Or you can kill yourself by it as well.
You can, yeah. You put a little. In fact, let's not tell people how to kill themselves. That's But if you put a little rag into the exhaust pipe, don't do that, guys.
I didn't even know that was the way.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
the way. Yeah. There you go. Now you know.
We're not going to tell people how to kill themselves. Proceeds to tell people how to kill themselves. Goodbye, demonetization.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
Goodbye, monetization. So I had no idea, but it turns out this slow exposure over a long time to carbon monoxide does this to you. And it makes you basically dissociate. So you forget things, and you forget where you've been and what you've done. So this guy was leaving himself these weird notes, totally forgetting about it. And basically, the next comment on the Reddit thread is like, you should send this guy something. He literally saved your life.
Yeah.
Because you die
wow, God.
eventually.
Jesus. I mean, do we actually know why that is the case? Like, is it because the carbon, like my understanding of carbon monoxide is that carbon monoxide joins with your hemoglobin, and it makes something called carbon monoxide hemoglobin, or something very close to that.
It has a greater affinity for your hemoglobin,
exactly,
than oxygen. Can you tell that I read about this?
I can tell you read about this. I'm thinking back to high school, and what I'm thinking is that obviously, if you've got the carbon monoxide is joined to your hemoglobin, then the oxygen can't. Therefore, you're drowning. You're drowning by day.
Yeah, essentially, your brain's not getting enough oxygen, so it really it fucks you up. Essentially,
goes
so that's
crazy.
That. You want to see someone getting fucked up on oxygen deprivation?
Yes, of course.
Click that. Go back to the document for today and click that YouTube link.
There we go.
And let's go forward to about the 6-minute mark. This is from a YouTube channel called Smarter Every Day. A guy called Destin, who is a fantastic YouTuber who everyone should check out. It's wildly more popular than me. Okay, so skip ahead to 6 minutes.
6 minutes, yeah. Here we go.
So just pause it.
Yeah.
So this guy, basically, what carbon monoxide and hypoxia is where you don't get that oxygen to your brain. Another time this happens is when you're in a plane and it decompresses, or you're at altitude and you can't get enough oxygen to your brain, right? So you have the same effects, but it's much more sudden and it comes on like really crazy. So in this, where is it? I think I put a timestamp. But yeah, so basically, he's in this decompression chamber, or whatever it's called, which simulates high altitude. And he's got this oxygen meter on his finger so they can see how much oxygen's in his blood. And they're like asking him questions. And he's been without oxygen for like 3 minutes. And he's just sitting there like, yeah, everything's good. Like, everything's good. And he's slowly just losing it. Skip ahead to just 6-ish minutes. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So you've been off oxygen for
just play
3:45, 3 minutes, 45 seconds.
3:45, 3 minutes, 45 seconds.
So he's trying to put these squares in this box.
Yeah, he's got one of those kids' toys where he's got to put the shapes into the right hole.
Yeah.
And
he's struggling. He went for the wrong one.
And what was that one?
that was a square. It was a flower.
Skip ahead a little bit.
Are you sure
Yeah,
that's
well, skip ahead. Skip ahead.
Are you starting to have a little shake?
Oh yeah, go back.
Oh, go back. Went too far.
Yeah, okay, so stop there.
Go ahead.
He's saying he doesn't want to die. But at the same time, he's not putting his oxygen mask on that he has right there. And they're like, put the oxygen mask on. And he's like, I don't want to die. And so when we recorded our unaired pilot of this episode, we were like, why is he not like struggling to breathe? Right?
Yes, yeah.
Because this was the big question. It's like, okay, when we've got a carbon monoxide problem, the problem is poisoning. The problem is like our brain's not getting enough oxygen. So what's the problem? Why don't we just, realize this
and breathe,
panic and be like, oh shit, like when you're underwater.
Yeah.
So it turns out, and the reason for this is we don't want to breathe because of lack of oxygen. We want to breathe because of a buildup of carbon dioxide.
Yes.
And this doesn't cause a buildup of carbon dioxide because that's also at a high altitude. It's escaping. So you're just getting less oxygen, but not more carbon dioxide. And the same for the carbon monoxide poisoning, because it's not like you're getting rid of less carbon dioxide, you're just getting less oxygen. So your brain's...
So you're not getting that urge to breathe.
Exactly. You're not getting that, oh shit, like I'm drowning moment.
Yeah.
So,
but that isn't even actually. I'll just jump off on a tiny tangent. That's exactly what freedivers get as well. Because before you go freediving, you have to do hyperventilation. So you have to breathe out all the oxygen that's in your lungs, and the idea is to basically bring the lower limit of the limit of your carbon dioxide down as far as it can possibly go, so that you don't have the urge to breathe and gag water.
Wow, is that why?
So basically, there's a really dangerous condition where you basically just pass out in the water. And a lot of people die doing this because they'll be underwater and they will push out so much carbon dioxide that they will go past the point of where their oxygen can keep their body functioning.
Wow.
And they just pass out. There's no sort of moment where they go, oh God, I'm going to pass out. They just go.
Yeah, I imagine they get this sort of thing.
Exactly,
like,
this sort of thing.
Or like on a plane.
7 seconds, they say, on a plane. If it decompresses, you have 7 seconds to get your mask on.
Right.
Which is why they tell parents to put their mask on first, and pilots and everything before they help anyone else.
Exactly. Like you think, I should put it on my kid first. No.
No.
Put it on yourself first, because otherwise you'll pass out and you won't be able to do anything, and you and your kid will be dead.
Exactly.
So on that morbid
note,
let's do another one. There was more weirdness from Twitter. Load that up. Was there anything interesting on there?
Well, this one here.
No, scroll down a little bit more.
Scroll down.
More weirdness from Twitter.
More weirdness from Twitter. Well, we can always do more weirdness from Twitter.
This is a note from the last podcast we did, so I don't actually remember if there's anything super interesting.
Well,
but this was my post of like, I'm trying to find that Reddit post from a few years back. It's a letter where someone's complaining about. No, I can't read it, but that's okay.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
hang on, we've got a letter. Hang on.
Oh yeah,
is
get
this
the
it?
letter.
Is
That's
that it?
crazy. Yeah,
Here we
no, it's a
go.
different one. I wish this was it, but someone was like, "Is this it?"
Oh, I got my hopes were so high
I know,
just right
dude,
now.
I
That was
wish. I've been keeping an eye on that thread.
ABBA.
Oh yeah, so this is super creepy. Shall I read this as well?
Yeah, can you read that? Is it big
no,
enough?
zoom in on, dude. I've got glasses on, but I need to get my prescription checked, I think. So it just this is, I've read this before. This is just completely nonsensical. So
Okay.
this is to inform you that all the food ate since first grade is alive in your body, especially the dead animal remains or meat, since it was cooked alive and is alive in your body. Anywhere it goes now, you must go with it. That's 365 days a year from first grade to now. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. And it just goes on, and it just gets more and more crazy. And so at the end it's like, what is needed is a steel furnace where metal can be melted and the bodies of people and animals mixed with the metal to become steel, unable to be hurt. Of course, you'll be sedated first. There will be a meeting on April the 27th, 2019, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, on the subject of building a steel furnace at 27th and Girard Avenue on the vacant lot. What we need is a bulldozer to dig some ditches and steel furnace equipment. Do attend.
Damn, we missed it.
Yeah.
Damn. That sounds so fun. What's going on there? What's that about?
I don't know. The whole post is like open to interpret. Like, what's this about? Open to interpretations.
Did you ever get told like kind of ridiculous things like that by your parents? Like, for instance, if you swallow chewing gum, it's going to stay in your stomach for 7 years. If you swallow
that's a myth.
apple seeds, then there's going to be a tree
If
growing
you
in your
watch too
stomach.
much TV, your eyes will go
will
square.
square.
Yeah. All
Classic.
those goddamn lies.
Lies. Good parenting lies, though.
Yeah. That's the one I remember, the weirdness from Twitter. That was a good one.
That was
I'm glad
fun.
we stopped
That was
by
fun.
that.
Glad we did that.
Should we do another one?
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to talk about seeing the world upside down. This is brand new. We're moving away from our...
We're off the unaired pilot.
Oh, we're off the unaired
I'm
pilot.
not sure how I
Zero
feel about
movie,
this.
yeah.
We're into new
It's uncomfortable territory.
new area. Exactly.
Have you heard of this experiment?
I've actually seen this experiment. So we did this
We
experiment
probably
at
haven't.
school.
Yeah, we haven't seen the original.
Oh, not the original. No,
it was like
no.
1890s, dude.
No,
Well, okay,
I'm
so
not saying I was there for the first experiment, but I was.
let's get. Let me mention what it
let's-
is, and
yeah.
then I'm desperate to hear about your experience with
Okay,
this.
all right, let's do this.
Okay, so basically, there was this guy, and he did this experiment, and well, let's talk about the biology of it first. Your eyes actually see everything upside down, right? So when you look at the world, your eyes actually see it the wrong way up, and then the brain flips that image around, so it's actually, useful to us, and we just get used to this. So the scientist, he basically did this thing. He put on these glasses, and they flipped the world upside down for him. So it would kind of do what, it would reset where the brain was originally at.
What?
So, right. So
I want a pair of those.
I'd love to get a pair of those.
Can we
should
get a pair of those? Let's get them.
I'm sure you can buy them online.
I'm sure.
Let's order some. We can wear them on a future podcast.
Very
But people
good.
say it's super weird.
I bet it is.
Anyway, so this guy, at first, obviously, everything's super weird and the world's upside down. But he said, like, after a little while, everything went back to everything, he got used to it. And then he started seeing the world the right way up. And then he'd take the glasses off after like a week or whatever. And to be like, oh, the whole world is upside down. So, and then it took him a short amount of time to get used to it again, and his brain did its magic and flipped it around. And I'd always heard this, and I assumed this was like super true and everything. It turns out that since then, no one's been able to replicate this. So they've done it. Obviously, these glasses are accessible. And it's like people have been wearing these things, and it's like, no, you definitely get used to it. Like, you get used to riding a backwards bike.
Exactly,
where it's the wheel and the thing goes the other way.
Reversing a trailer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you get used to
You
it,
can
and
learn
then you're
it.
like, okay, but you're not seeing the world the right way up.
He lied.
Well, he's like an 1890 scientist. So they weren't exactly full of scientific rigor. So people don't know if he lied or if it was just him, but it's not been able to be replicated and all this stuff. I've got some stuff to say about this, but now we know what the experiment was. I want to know about your experience.
So I'm not saying I wore glasses or anything like that, but when in physics class we took a prism, not a prism, a prism, yeah,
I think it's a prism,
and we shone light through it, and there was an image that we shone through it, and basically it's replicated the lens of your eye, and it basically the image will be reflected, and it'll flip upside down, and basically what it's showing is how the world will be reflected onto your optic nerve, and then your brain does all the magic and flips it over so that you see it the right way up.
I feel like I did this with a pinhole camera.
Possibly, yeah.
Or you make the pinhole camera and then you put the film in the back and then you do your exposure and the exposure's upside down.
when you grew up in the 1800s.
I might be old, but I'm not that old.
No. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Yeah, and that's exactly what happens because if you look at the old cameras, don't you? The old what are they called? The silver. What do they call it?
Silver plate photography.
Yes, that one. The silver.
How do I? Is that even true? I think that's right, but I have no idea how I know that.
I know that Gary Oldman's a big fan. That's his.
Is he really?
That's his like day off hobby.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
But yeah, no, the camera basically shoots and the picture will come out upside down. So
yeah.
So there you go.
Wait, maybe that's all cameras.
No,
maybe that's the way lenses work.
It is all cameras, and now the digital ones flip it around. That's how it works.
It makes perfect sense. Go back to the notes.
That was a revelation, wasn't it?
Go back to the notes, dude. I want to load up a video. So a woman tries it. That YouTube video, right?
Is she trying the glasses?
Yeah. It's really cool.
All right.
There's this moment where she's pouring tea and stuff, and it goes wrong. I think it's from like the 1970s or something.
I love it already.
Just jump ahead. Yeah, let's get past this intro.
God, look at those.
So yeah.
Correction.
All right.
Will
So
she
just
be
for people that aren't watching the visual, so it's basically like a set of glasses with sort of blinkers on either side, so it's sort of she can't see left or right, or maybe they're mirrors. Are they mirrors?
I think it's mirrors on the top and then
mirrors
some
on
sort
the
of
top.
lens or something.
Yeah. So basically, she can't see left or right, and then she's got mirrors to flip it all over.
They're a lot less giant than I expected. I really expected them to be like absolutely massive,
Like
or
night
something.
vision goggles.
Yeah. You know, like. Yeah, exactly. I really
really
imagine
not that
like,
noticeable on your face.
someone wearing like a VR goggles or something, that kind of size. Play the video.
Yeah, let's play. There we go.
Now hers will be forced to make yet another correction. Will she be able to make sense of an upside down
So
world?
she's looking at we're seeing it through like it's just a flipped camera. But she's trying to pour this milk into a cup and she's like doesn't know which
At
way
home,
up is
an
and
hour
down
later,
is.
The world
Must be
is
so
still
disorientating.
bewildering.
So the milk seems to be pouring
she-
upwards and all of this stuff.
Funny,
Got it, though.
Do it.
Skip ahead.
Look
skip
at
ahead.
that. Let's skip ahead. Let's find something
The
exciting.
moment when she takes them off is quite good. Just
Hey, she's
Civil
cycling.
brain
She's
has
cycling
somehow matched
Yeah.
the
with the world
unchanged
upside down.
world
That's actually
to
quite
her
terrifying.
altered
Yeah.
Can you imagine going at like 15 miles an hour,
dude.
20 miles an hour with being upside down?
She's doing fine though. She had them on for like a week.
Okay, well that's fine. Yeah, that's not as impressive.
Oh yeah, that's where she takes
Oh,
them
okay.
off. So go back. Turn it up a little.
Oh, goodness.
Oh goodness.
It's really
She's also
sorry.
very English. Very English.
Oh,
A lot of people are in the comments like this woman has the
That
most
is just
fantastic
so incredible.
she makes you look
Feel
sound not
everything
English,
all
Like a
around me.
play.
like a ruffian.
Yeah.
And now, Susanna Fine's brain has managed yet another inversion
So
of
just
the
pause
image.
it. So yeah, pretty immediately she gets back to the normal vision.
Well, I've got a conjecture with what they just said. Her brain has done yet another inversion of the image. No, it hasn't. It's gone back to the original. Like I understand because there was at no point in that video did it say that she is now seeing the right way up. She has got used to being upside down.
To be fair, we watched about 2 seconds of the 3-minute
I'm
video,
assuming she
but-
got used to being upside down.
She did.
So it's I feel there was a gap in this
You should have
story.
had a word with the producer, Sam. Go back to... No. It says it was uploaded in 2030, but it was clearly filmed in like the 1960s.
Like the 60s. Well, it's color. It's in color. So
I feel that this myth of, or that experiment being taken, and it's always spun into that sort of self-help thing. Like, I feel like I've read this in self-help books where it's like, the brain is an incredibly adaptable thing. It's amazing what you can... you might be a complete slacker and just like drinking and smoking weed and playing Xbox, but your brain can adapt to any sort of situation. This experiment back in the 1890s, a man saw the world upside down and his brain flipped around the image. Your brain's incredibly... Don't they say like plastic? Is that trendy word? Like
plastic?
Neural plasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
Or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. No time for that.
I feel like this is
Nobody
just
got time for that.
Well, I feel just this is one of those things that self-help gurus will take and be like, yeah, look at this. And then it turns out, oh yeah, you just, that's not good science, is it? The other one is, this is my favorite. Do you know this one, the Harvard study about writing down your goals?
No, I don't. But I do know that writing down your goals is like number one in all of the self-help books.
Yeah.
You have to kind of give yourself an actual goal and something that like pin. They say salesmen. They will say pin up what you want to pin up on your workstation. What it is you want to buy, and always work towards that. So
this was like the whole pitch of The Secret.
Yes.
Have you seen The Secret?
What a shitty book and film.
Turd of a movie.
Really was awful.
It's all fine. Like I'm like I
know
do believe
people enjoyed it, people liked it, and it helped people turn their lives around.
Yeah, but it was
what
such
a
full of bullshit
shitty
as well.
movie. Yeah,
I do believe that if you want whatever, a Ferrari or whatever, and you stick a picture of that Ferrari on your wall and you look at it every day, yeah, you're gonna be motivated to go out and work to get your Ferrari. Of course, this makes perfect sense. But then they're like, every thought that you put out into the world pushes it closer towards you with subatomic energy. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No,
That's a goddamn lie.
You know, the problem with all these sorts of like self-help, like The Secret and those sorts of books and sort of guru like schemes, is that they push people to believe that the world will give you without doing the work. And
Just think about it.
Just think about it and
Or
it'll come.
Go to work.
Bullshit! It won't. You got to go and actually get it. Like
Yes.
go get the thing that you're chasing, or no one's going to give it to you. You know, life doesn't give you things, and
Can you imagine you go up and so a guy's driving around his Ferrari, you're like, wow, how did you get that Ferrari? He's like, well, I'm a banker. I'm an investment banker. Like, I make loads of money. So you thought about having the Ferrari at home for a really... No, it's like, no, I went to university and then I became a banker. This is how it works. Go to work.
Go to work.
Or start a business or do whatever you want. Anyway, this...
Start a YouTube channel or a podcast.
Start a YouTube channel. Still haven't got my Ferrari, though, Sam, disappointingly. I found this, and so I pre-planned this tangent, if you can't tell, because I pulled a quote. Often in the literature, these things are written like this. There was a study done at Harvard University, the literature, by literature I mean crappy self-help books. There was a study done at Harvard between 1979 and 1989. Graduates of the MBA program were asked, have you set clear written goals for your future and made plans to accomplish them? The results of that question were only 3% had written goals and 13% had goals but not in writing. 84% had no specific goals at all. 10 years later, Harvard interviewed the members of the class and found 13% who had goals but not in writing were earning twice as much as the 84% who had no goals at all. 3% who had clear written goals were earning on average 10 times as much as the 97% of all other graduates together. The only difference between the groups is the clarity of the goals that they had written for themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense. I get that. Like, having goals does definitely focus you into actually achieving a particular a particular achievement, a particular goal. I know that I work with a colleague, and he said that he set a 10-year like sort of goal pyramid, like a goal scheme for himself, and over the 10 years he managed to achieve 90% of all his goals, which is great. He said like he set up like financial verticals and even down to having children, how many kids he wanted, all the trips he wanted to take, all those sorts of things. And I mean, I do this as well. I don't know if you do this, Simon, but every single Christmas and New Year, my family and I, and it's something we've brought across into my wife's family and everything like that, we sit down and we write 5 goals that we want to achieve this year. And we sort of look back at the last year and take the list that we did last year and see if we managed to achieve any of them, and then from those goals we try and sort of deliver new goals for the coming year.
Sam has done an incredibly good job of filling some air there because one of our cameras has just died. And
no,
I don't know why. I'm trying to fix it right now.
I think he's sabotaging me. This is the second time.
It is. I
the
get
second
the
time that my camera has died.
And not mine.
Simon's camera never dies. I mean, he always knows that he's being watched. No, this is peculiar because no one's touched the camera. Have we got a carbon monoxide monitor here?
I know what's going on.
He says he knows what's going on from the back of the room.
I know what's going on. This is you won't believe the explanation for this.
Biddling?
Let me get this recording.
God, look at that. There you go. What a light balance. Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, it says it's got to repair some data.
It might have
it's
even got me. It
finished.
might have recorded me.
We're back, ladies and gents. Okay, so you know what happened there?
What happened there? Tell me.
So I used to have a big terrarium in here, which had some plants in it, like some cactuses. You'll see where this goes.
The iguana bit through the cable.
No. And they were all like the previous owners of this place. The plants had died, but they still had these lights, like greenhouse lights or whatever, to grow the plants because we're underground. And it was set by a timer on the wall. So it would turn on and turn off at specific times of day. And I just left the extension cable plugged in and plugged your camera into it. So like the 6 p.m. cut-off time for the lights, just cut off your camera.
Nice.
So I was like, oh no, the camera's broken because it's not turning on. The battery's not working. I realized the battery's dead. And this is exactly what happened last time.
You know, the irony of this is, people, that today Simon took the batteries out of the camera and plugged it into the mains so that it didn't crash this time.
Well, so we'd know if it crashed.
And we did. It worked.
And we did. And we are
back. Hello, people.
Our editor for this show currently is called Bruno. And
he's going to hate us.
He's going to be annoyed because then he's got to stitch these teeth up. Sorry, Bruno. Dude, I apologize for you having to fill all that air. So there was this study done at Harvard or whatever. And yeah.
What?
Okay. I got to get back on my train of thought.
No. I went off on my train of thought to ask you do you set your own goals?
Hell yes.
Yeah?
Even though the study turns out to be bullshit, which we'll get into in a second. I write down my yearly goals at the beginning of the year, which I never manage to keep to, or like some go really well, some go really badly. And then I have like life goals. And then I have like monthly and weekly goals.
Relationship goals?
I'm pretty happy. I'm
good.
Married and
how many
satisfied.
goals would you set yourself in one go? Like for like your yearly goals? Do you set 20 or do you set 10 or 5?
I'll probably find you some of my yearly goals.
Oh my God! Look at this. We're going right into the mind of
Actually,
Simon Whistler.
I don't know. Now I feel a bit exposed. I set goals. I think it is important to set goals. But with this study, right? Everyone was like re-quoting this study. So Tony Robbins would write about it, and then, Zig Ziglar or whoever, and all these guys. It turns out they were just sourcing each other, and it seems that someone made it up at some point because people wrote to Harvard and were like, yo, Harvard, has there ever been this study? And I was like, no, we've never done a study like that.
That never happened.
No one's done a study on it until really recently. A study was done, and it showed nothing like nearly as conclusively as this, they made 10 times more money. Nothing as conclusive as that, but it did seem that by setting goals, you did make, you were more likely to achieve them if you made them like achievable and you had action plans for them. And it's like, well, of course.
Yeah.
But there were also other studies that showed that it didn't make a difference.
That's the opposite, yeah.
So that's how science actually works. We don't really know what's going on.
My opinion on that is that it must help in some way to just arrange your thoughts. I mean, if you're setting goals, then you're at least putting down on paper what it is you want to achieve. I think the problem is if you don't set those goals, if you don't write those goals down,
what you want to do, how are you ever going to get there?
Exactly. And goals and ideas and sort of inspiration can be so fleeting. It can just disappear all in one go. And you might one day go, do you know what? I'm going to, I don't know, walk the circumference of the earth or whatever.
Oh, shit.
And I met a guy, did that. It was amazing.
Whoa.
But yeah. He was
all right.
Crazy Austrian vegan, and he did the whole world, like just a big loop. I don't think he walked the oceans, but he,
but
he did like,
we'll cut him some slack.
Yeah, he did well. But no, it's that sort of thing that he just, one day he said to himself, I'm going to do that. He wrote it down and he spent a year planning it, and then he went, boom, I'm going to go do it.
It must have taken years.
It did. It took him, I think, 5.5 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did he pay for it?
He didn't. He was poor. He was poor the whole time.
Wow.
I'm honestly not sure how he did. I think he wrote for Austrian magazines and stuff like that, and they paid him enough. And he was the kind of person that lived with no shoes, and which is ironic because he walked around the world, but he walked with no shoes and did his thing. He just ate beans. He was a vegan, so he just ate beans and lentils.
Incredible.
Yeah. Good lad.
Wow. I'm never going to do anything like that.
No, you're not going to write a goal like that, no.
No. Also, the amount of stuff I could do in 4 years. I wasn't doing YouTube. I was barely doing YouTube 4 years ago. I feel like I've made good progress.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of time to give up to something that, I don't know. Where does it really get you?
Well, but actually, that's a really interesting point, that 4 years ago, you weren't even doing YouTube. How did YouTube affect your goals? Because did you have life goals that you'd like set out for like 20 years when you were younger,
Yeah.
and then suddenly YouTube came along and you went, oh, goodbye goals?
Yeah, well, that's the problem, isn't it? Like, you'll set these goals, and also a lot of my goals are, generic, or they can be applied to different things. Like I have, work goals and freedom goals, financial goals, and all of this stuff. Freedom kind of went down a little bit, I guess, because I don't know. I also got older, so I became more okay with I like going to work, and I like being at home with my wife and family and all of this stuff. And I was like that because I used to love travel and stuff, and then I was like, nah, just I'm pretty chill. Like I just like working. And
I think once you got to start fitting traveling, there comes an age where you can no longer just pack up all your shit and go. And I think from that age, travel becomes much trickier. It's doable.
There's a point where it becomes a little less socially acceptable.
Yes.
I remember being 21 years old, and doing the backpacker scene and all of this stuff. And there'd be people who are older, and I feel like there'd be people who are like 30, maybe late 30s, and it'd be kind of like that's okay. You're not settled in life yet. But then there'd be some dude who's like 55, 60, who's like backpacking around, and it's like, what went wrong?
Well, but that's it, because it's not like they're backpacking for the first time. They've had like a midlife crisis and they've just been doing it constantly. Like that's I mean, I
get it.
It's a life choice.
It's a life choice. But I don't know if I don't want to criticize, because I'm sure there's plenty of shit I do that speaks to my psychology no end. But it does say something. It's a bit weird, isn't it? To reject the ordinary path of life quite so aggressively.
Ooh, interesting. Talk for another day, I think. That's a very interesting idea. Because
there's a whole other space, isn't it?
Yeah, there are so many different ways that life can go. Just based on which direction you turn on a street one day, and that is a causal relationship. But
you set your goals. Do you write down your goals?
So
what's your situation here?
So depending on how much of my little fill there gets cut out. So every Christmas,
I wasn't listening at all.
We do a thing.
I?
No, not at all.
You were. You were saying you were writing it down with your family.
Every Christmas we take.
Audience, forgive me. I was desperately trying to fix a camera.
So my family and I, and now we've brought it over to my wife's family as well. It's a new thing that we do. We sit down and we write down 5 goals for that year.
Do you want to share your goals?
I honestly can't remember what my goals are.
Oh no, it's December.
I think because I'm yes, actually no, I do remember a couple of them. So I mean, I'm a sort of freelance marketer, so I said I wanted to have 5 independent clients and various. I wanted to run a half marathon, I think it was.
You did that, and you did it in under 2 hours. I
did it in 1 hour 31.
It's mental,
I think. Yeah.
So
not
impressive.
like that dude that run the marathon in 2 hours. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, but he's the best athlete in the world. You're a regular dude, and you're not
Thanks,
Kenyan.
mate.
Well, no, it's more
True,
common to you.
I'm
You're
not Kenyan.
You're not a professional athlete.
No, that's
and
true.
And you did
that's
a killer half marathon time.
Yeah. No, stop it.
Okay, good.
But no, that's kind of my goal setting, and I've.
Do I count as one of your 5 clients?
No, you're molding into a partner. So
yeah,
that's
true. That's true.
There we go. So, but I would say originally you were sort of one of my clients, and now I'd like to think our professional and personal
we got a talk
relationships
partnership as well, probably off the air though. But how we want to break that down?
Oh yeah.
But let's.
It's a glimpse into our professional lives, guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
I would like to talk about. Tell you what. I was thinking for this next section, Darwin Awards, if we want to make this a regular one, which I don't think we'll do for the next couple of episodes, but we'll get some feedback when this is live and everything, and see if people like the Darwin Awards section. I think we could finish up each week, each episode even, with a Darwin Award, if there's been something good. There's a great subreddit for it. There's also the website, and there's also just news of people dying in crazy ways. It's a little bit morbid. We won't make any money on it.
No.
But it's kind of fun.
I think there's one way that we'll be able to tell if people want to know more about the Darwin Awards, some interesting Darwin Awards. You can subscribe, like our videos.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments what you want to hear. If do you want to hear more Darwin Awards, that would be great. Let us know what you think.
So, in that case, give me one of yours, and then we'll finish up this episode.
Oh, go
with my Darwin Awards.
Oh, okay, right.
I've caught you on the spot.
Oh God, you have a little bit. Here we
go.
go. Right, Right, so we're jumping away from the Darwin Awards. I just had a good Darwin Award example
That's just
lined
a
up,
tease.
and that was horrible. Why would you do that? Right, okay, here we go. So, I would like to talk today about the teeth cleaning habits of ancient civilizations.
Oh my.
So, do you know about any ancient civilizations and their
I read a book
dental habits?
called The Beach, which was turned into a reasonable movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Terrible first 20 minutes. Awful. You
okay.
got to get through those 20 minutes.
I don't even remember the first 20
Oh my
minutes. Anyway, in this book, they're like some, backpacker kids, and they go off to some island in Thailand and live there, and they don't have any equipment. I remember this because I was like, how do you brush your teeth? And they were using like sticks and stuff, or like they were chewing on twigs. So I think that's there's the extent of my knowledge.
Yes, there was. Okay, so basically it all started with twigs and twigs and sort of. They were shaving the twigs so that they had little bits that could get in between their teeth and everything like that. I mean, the first modern toothbrush, as we know it, was made in 1780. It was developed by a man in prison. What was his name? William Addis, who drilled a hole through a sheep's tibia that he managed to get hold of in prison, and then pulled through the bristles of a boar's hair. The bristles of a boar.
What was he do? Where did he get all this equipment in prison?
Well, this was 1718. No, 1718. So I'm sure things were a bit more laxed back then, but maybe he was sharing. Maybe his roomie was a boar or something similar to that. But that's that. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't get that into prison these days. You make a shank.
Well, I was thinking like he made a toothbrush so he could make a shank. I don't know. Don't they turn toothbrush? That was a terrible joke.
In 1718, I'm sure shanks were not too much of a thing. Okay. But no. All right. So let's jump back to the Roman times. Mm-hmm. So the Romans were big fans of gargling urine.
Naturally.
Don't you?
Yeah.
No.
I'm gargling urine right now.
This is high quality Earl Grey, sir. No, but basically. Gargling urine since
carry on, Sam. I'm interrupting all over your segment.
Since 1988. But you born 1988?
87.
There you go. I cut a year off your life. All right, so. No, basically what happens is if you leave urine out, it turns into basically pure ammonia, and ammonia is used in all cleaning products. It basically will pull all of your stains out of your teeth, and so as you're gargling it around your teeth, it works as basically a natural mouthwash. Okay. And I actually just happen to know that they had a special vase for it. I haven't even got this in the notes. I just know this. I learned this at school. They had a special vase for it where they left it for weeks at a time, and it would turn into this ammonia, and so you'd have basically the piss vase, and it would, and then
they'd be gargling.
They'd lift it like this, kind of do like a big full mouthful, like an overflowing down the face mouthful of urine, and they gargle it about, and that would keep their teeth fresh. They would also use it to whiten their togas. Dude, ammonia.
They must have smelt bad.
Oh, they must have smelled awful.
Because pee, I feel, doesn't smell bad, but like if I forget to flush the toilet here, and then I come back in the next day, it's gonna smell bad. Like it does. It's not wrong.
You just said that on the air.
Well, I'm not wrong, am I?
No, it does smell.
Because I don't flush that toilet in the day.
Like
I'll piss in it all day, and then I'll flush it at the end of the day. But sometimes I'll forget because I don't want to waste the water.
Well, there is the old saying, isn't there? If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's down, flush it down. And that's not true because it doesn't mellow. It just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. No, it's not mellowing.
Doesn't mellow. There's no mellowing.
No way.
But yeah, I mean, if we move actually backwards, I assume this is backward. It would have been round about the same time. So the ancient Egyptians.
Well, if we're going from 1780, we're definitely going backwards.
No, well, we jumped forward. I'm sorry, my chronology
you're right,
is everywhere.
Okay,
so
well, Egyptian times.
In Egyptian times, it has been noted that they found a not a papyrus, but like a rock that contained the recipe for what they count as the first official actual toothpaste. Okay. So early ingredients included the powder of ox hooves, ashes, burnt eggshells, pumice.
I feel like in the past they just mixed random shit together and like, let's see how this works.
Well, do you know what? Actually,
I don't even know what pumice is.
Pumice is
it's that volcanic rock.
It's the rock. You can get a pumice stone and scrub your feet.
Scrub your feet
and get all the gross, disgusting crap off people's feet.
I like having the hard feet though, because then you're less likely to hurt yourself when you're walking around barefoot.
Completely agree. I'm a big barefoot walker.
I like building up my callus.
God, have you found that?
What? It's not funny.
Have you found that quite frustrating here? Because we're in the Czech Republic, and they have a massive. I know other countries as well, like China and Japan, have this. They're massive slipper people, and
Yeah.
you're like obliged to wear slippers. And I hate wearing slippers.
Oh, why?
I nearly fell down the stairs the first 5 times that I came to visit this country, and
Wait, in a house or in an apartment?
in a house, like on stairs.
Oh, okay.
But people have slippers for everything here. They have slippers for school, doctor slippers.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They have slippers at school?
Kids have to have slippers to go to school.
Wow.
If they
I
don't
didn't
have
know
slippers,
that.
they get in trouble. Like you have to have slippers
Because they don't like bringing they don't want to wear the outside shoes inside.
Exactly.
Like British people, some will make you take your shoes off when you go into the house, right?
Yeah, and
family do
they'll
that?
get a slap around the head. That's
Well, you go to. I've been to friends, not friends of mine, but like parents. As a kid, you'd go to someone's house and they'd be like, "Oh, we take our shoes off," and I'd be like,
oh,
"That's a bit weird."
okay,
But okay.
yeah.
But some families do it.
Well, I actually think the other way around. I think the UK is one of those terrible offenders that they don't take their shoes off.
Yeah, we never take our shoes.
Never
off.
take our shoes off.
And
Like
we just
walk
accept
into
that we have to replace our carpets every 10 years.
Yeah.
It's enormously expensive.
Terrible.
But it is weird. It is a bit weird. And I do like having my shoes off at home.
Right.
Wow, that was a tangent.
Jumping back to toothpaste. Here we go. So archaeologists recently found.
I was
Where are you
in
going?
London last weekend. And I just want to know, like, how useful is toothpaste? Because I was in London for 2 nights, and I never take toothpaste when I travel because I don't want to have to. I don't take any liquids. Like I have a deodorant stick, like a stick deodorant,
Yeah.
and that's it. Because I don't want to have to, take all my shit out my bag at the airport, so I don't bother. And every hotel, you just, there's either a kit there, or you phone up and you're like, "Hey, can you bring up some toothpaste?" In this hotel, they were like, "Toothpaste is £6."
No.
And I was like, "Fine, I'm just gonna brush my teeth with water," and it was fine. I had a mint. I brushed my teeth with water, and it was fine. I'm not paying £6 for toothpaste.
Interesting. I mean, I suppose
It was some fancy toothpaste from some fancy company, but
something that
I'm not
the Queen would use.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
the royal seal.
I suppose all really that because they say you can use charcoal as well to brush your teeth. You can use like charcoal.
It's not a good look though.
It's not a good look. Not a good look. But I think it's just a slight abrasion. That's all it is, isn't it? Really,
that makes
and
sense.
which makes
Well, it's charcoal toothpaste, right?
exactly. But you can also get like charcoal, like powdered charcoal, and you can basically dip it in, and it's supposed to whiten your teeth. And I imagine the only thing really that toothpaste does. Nice little tangent about toothpaste. Do you know what? There was a massive selling point of toothpaste that toothpaste never sold before. It wasn't a real thing, and people's teeth were terrible, and they had to create like a habit to make people clean their teeth, and the way that they did that was by putting citric acid into the toothpaste. That's
Make it foam.
No, not to make it foam. To give you that feeling of I've brushed my teeth, that clean feeling.
Because it's not really necessary.
No, it's not necessary. Like all the good toothpastes don't need that. Like you can brush your teeth and your teeth will be perfectly clean without any feeling of tingling. However, it's that citric acid that created the habit that allowed
People to have good hygiene.
Not
In order to encourage it.
No, to sell toothpaste.
Oh.
That was
Well,
the
yeah, you do one and you get the other.
That was exactly. It's a nice feeling. It's that thing that makes you go, oh yeah. And like I love brushing my teeth, and then I
It's
get
true.
that. Nice
I
feeling.
don't like it. Like going to bed without brushing my teeth is not a good time.
I can't do it. It makes me go mad. Like I'll brush it with my finger. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Get right in there. Anyway, so archaeologists recently found what
Sorry.
appears. No worries. We're jumping back.
Quite a tangent.
So archaeologists recently found what appears to be a more advanced toothpaste recipe and a how-to brush guide written on papyrus. Ah, shit! I said it was a rock. It was papyrus that dates back to the Roman occupation in the 4th century AD. The unknown author explains how to mix precise amounts of rock salt, mint, dried iris flower, and grains of pepper to form a powder for white and perfect teeth.
Wow.
Look at that. Back 2,000 years ago.
I had to go to the dentist to pay them like €400 to make a teeth whitening tray, so I got rid of my teeth were white.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get like the proper peroxide stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's really effective.
Is it?
Because
Yeah.
I had yellow teeth because I drink a ton of black coffee.
Yeah.
And I was like, I say it's not a vanity thing. It's part of vanity thing. It's also like all I do is appear on camera all day.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll do this, It's also 2019. I can wipe my teeth if I want.
Exactly.
Yeah, I paid like €400 for a bloody tray. It's so expensive. And since then I've had braces. So now I have to get another tray made. Which sucks.
Jeez. That's
Obviously the previous tray doesn't fit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how does that work? The whole whitening of teeth thing. Like, do you sleep with it, or
Yeah. They make you a tray.
does it not burn your gums?
No, it's a really light solution of it or whatever. It doesn't do any damage. And then you just put a little bit of this peroxide stuff in it or whatever it is, I'm not sure. And then you put it in your mouth and you sleep in it, and then you wake up and your teeth are a little bit lighter, and then you do it for like 2 weeks, and by the end it's like ding.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a friend, because I know that here in Europe, basically our laws as to what we're allowed to use is a little bit more strict than over in America. Hence why everyone has big Hollywood white smiles, and in America.
I think we just also care less. Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Maybe.
I think,
It's. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I had a friend. He said you can order it off of eBay. You can get the proper. Actually. Oh, thank you. Oh, Simon's pouring me an extra tea to make sure my teeth are as white as possible for the upcoming YouTube appearances.
Drinking black tea, it's not brilliant.
But no, he said you can buy the actual real sort of Hollywood peroxide stuff off of eBay, and he said it works 5-6 times faster than what we can get here in Europe.
Yeah,
and
I bet it does.
But he said he woke up after a week and his teeth hurt, and he was like, I better stop using this.
There's something fundamentally wrong about teeth hurting.
Yeah.
Sorry, where were we?
We were just spitballing about recipes, about tooth. Have you got any toothpaste recipes that you've concocted?
No, dude, I buy my toothpaste like a normal human being.
Colgate.
Usually Colgate. Yeah.
Very good.
Should we talk about the Darwin Awards?
Yeah, let's go back to the Darwin Awards.
A man died eating nearly 50 eggs. Right? Load up that Vice. Vice is always going to deliver something weird.
50 eggs.
So these two dudes, they were having some argument. There's two Indian dudes. And somehow, this Vice article is not super clear because like they were having an argument and then they decided to have a bet. And I was like, okay, I don't really see how those tie together, but let's go along with it. And then I read another article which said the same thing. So I'm like, okay, no one really knows what happened and they're just trying to fill some words. And here we are trying to fill some airtime. So anyway, they get onto this thing and they have a bet for $28 about who can eat 50 eggs in like the time or whatever. Some dude eats 42 eggs and he passes out.
That's a lot of eggs.
And dies.
What?
I know.
Why?
I mean, 42 eggs is a lot of eggs.
I mean, I get that's a lot of overeating. Why did he die?
Well, so they say, I looked this up, it's on the Vice as well, and it's on the, was it in the Guardian? No, this was another, don't click on that, that was another thing. But they just said he died of overeating. And I'm like, that's not enough. What happened to him? Did his stomach rupture or anything like that? So this article was like really disappointing, but it got me in to like reading about people overeating. And then go back to the doc and open up that second link, which is
this one.
Basically it asks like, can you really die from eating too much? Now, this article says that your stomach is initially 800 millimeters to 1 liter, which for our, well, I suppose British and American friends will do it in pints. I definitely know what a liter is because it's like, okay, 1 liter of orange.
Well,
juice, right?
it's a liter of soft drink.
That's a 2 liter.
That's a 2 liter. So half a bottle of soft drink.
Well, it's like it's 2 pints basically.
Yeah, 2 pints. Okay.
So 1.5 to 2 pints is basically the normal size of your stomach.
For our Australian friends, that's about 3.5 schooners.
Oh yeah. Wait, they have those half size. They're not proper beers.
No, they're schooners.
You've been to the Netherlands, right?
No.
What?
No, I've never been to the Netherlands.
You've never been to the Netherlands?
Why, what have they got
You've
there?
been everywhere.
Yeah, I've never been to the Netherlands.
Oh, they have the schooners, or like I don't know.
What are they? They're schooners.
They're not called schooners. I've never been to Australia, but I know Australia has small beers.
Schoonine.
For Germans. They have just like small beers. I think they're like 0.3 or something. And that's the standard beer size.
That's a schooner.
And it's still like €4 or whatever. And you're like, what?
Yeah, come on.
Come on.
Same in Australia. You pay the same as you would for a pint.
Anyway, that's our discussion about metric and liters. So this article talks about this, and so basically, this is your normal size, so like 1.5 to 2 pints. But if you're enormously obese, or if you binge eat, so and I was like, I definitely had some binges in my time. Yeah. Like, I mean,
I'm not proud of some of the binges I've had.
Dude. I don't know, some of the binges where I've been like, maybe a bit hungover and you're like, oh man, you go to Greg's and it's like, I could eat all of this.
Oh yeah.
So you just get absolutely nuts in Greg's and buy like 7 pasties or something and just eat them all.
All you can eat English breakfast at the Toby Carvery.
Oh, I've never done this.
Mate, £4.
What?
£4, all you can eat veg. So
Wait.
no, all you can eat everything.
Yeah, all you can eat veg at an English breakfast is going to be extremely
Sorry, I was
limited.
thinking carvery. That's the typical carvery rules.
Okay.
But you get meat once and then you get veg. But like as much veg as you like. But no, for the breakfast, £4 and you get unlimited breakfast.
Wow. I think my biggest overeating's gone on unlimited things, but usually a Chinese buffet.
Ooh.
Like a cheap Chinese buffet. So not £4. That's absurd. But like, I don't know, like £10, £11.
Yeah.
Like somewhere you could get unlimited Chinese buffet. I'll just gorge myself.
Like-
Not anymore, because now I'm like, well, this is, I feel, my life. When I was young, I wanted to eat loads of great stuff, but I didn't have any money. And now I'm old. It's like, I want to eat all this great stuff and I can afford it. But I'm like, well, yeah, I'm going to become a fat bastard if I do. So, I feel like I missed that sweet spot in my late 20s, like where it was like, I still can eat whatever I want. And I feel like I'm still a little bit in that zone. I definitely now, if I go on holiday and just for 2 weeks and eat like a pig, I'll have put on a few kilos when I get back.
Even I'm in that now. Like, so I'm what, 4 years younger than you are. And I'm at that point now where I cannot eat whatever I want. I have to sort of be a little bit aware of what I eat. Okay,
fuck this. Like the amount of money I would pay just to be like, yeah, I'll can I do the £10 all you can eat Chinese, and also I'll pay £400. So, no, I wouldn't pay £400. Let's say I'll pay 40 quid.
What, so I don't get fat?
Yeah, I'll pay 40 quid if I could just have all of that written off.
Nice.
Anyway.
Would you do that?
Hell yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, like no consequences of the food I'm eating. For 50 quid, all I can eat.
Ooh.
Game on, son.
Game on.
Anyway, that was a big tangent. So your stomach gets bigger if you binge eat, obviously. But let's get to the important stuff, because according to this thing, your stomach can absolutely burst. They say this woman filled it up to like 2,500. So, that must be milliliters. So basically 2 to 3 times. Maybe if she was a small woman. I'm guessing she's not. 4 times bigger. Her stomach basically filled up her whole abdomen and then burst.
That's disgusting.
Right. And I'm like, that's game over, right? She went in for emergency surgery and survived. I'm like, okay, so you go for emergency surgery. How are you not dying of infection?
Well,
It'd be like just putting the digestive tract is essentially separate from your body. It's like a hole that just runs through you.
yeah.
But at this stage, it's like, isn't there going to be like bits of, pork ribs and stuff in your lungs? Or like surrounding...
In your lungs?
Well,
Maybe not
like
your
around the lungs.
Maybe
and
like in the lymph.
I don't know, whatever
lymph.
whatever's going on in there where there's not supposed to be food.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's lots of food and acid.
I'd actually love to know a bit more about that bit of the body where nothing is.
What do you mean?
What's there?
Dude, we're all full of stuff.
No. Like there must be. When you look at like a diagram of the body, you've got the lymphatic system, you've got the digestive system, you've got the respiratory system, and then you've got nothingness.
Well, it's bones,
capillaries.
Did you mention that?
Yeah, circulatory system. So yeah, and
loads of stuff.
There must be a bit like here where there's nothing going on.
There's fat, skin, bone.
Okay, in the
muscle,
in the main cavity
arteries.
where we've got our lungs and our heart and everything like that. There's just like
lungs, heart, spleen, liver, kidneys. All this stuff is pretty packed in. It's not like there's some empty space inside of you which they just forgot to map.
a cavity. Well, if you think about it, your diaphragm can go up and down though.
When you breathe in and breathe out.
But it actually properly moves around. So I'm wondering if there's like a bit where you could like, I don't know, put your hand in or something.
Just like make a pocket or something.
A little pocket,
like a little storage space, like a kangaroo.
Keep your important documents.
Second thing, someone has died from this, recorded in like modern history rather than just like myths and rumors and stuff, which, yeah, that's not super surprising. Someone ate themselves to death. I was thinking this definitely happened to some king or something, so I googled that. And I found out there was this Swedish king called Adolf Fredrik Allegady, maybe, who died of overeating. And I was like, oh, what did he eat? And it was like all this king stuff.
Yeah.
Like champagne, lobster.
Partridge.
I don't remember partridge, but
quail.
Pretty kingy. Yeah. All that stuff. And then also, I was like, I felt it was an English monarch. And I know it wasn't Henry VIII. But he was fat. Henry the First, apparently. Henry the First of England. But they just say allegedly.
Allegedly.
So we don't really know.
Well, he probably died of something.
He was eating some weird fish that doesn't exist anymore. It went extinct. Apparently, it was really tasty, and that it was like a hack because they couldn't eat meat on some religious days or something like that. And apparently this fish tasted very meaty, so he was really into it, and he ate so much of it that his stomach exploded and he died.
Do you know, fun fact, it took a really, really long time to name the giant tortoise because
They were too busy eating it?
Darwin
He ate them all.
on his own boat on the way home. They basically piled them up. They piled them from like bottom corner up to the top corner in the storeroom, and they were so delicious. So tasty that by the time they came back to London to like process it, it'd be like, "What have you got?" Well, we had some tortoise. Well, where's the tortoise? Ate it. And like genuinely, they ate all of them. They almost ate them into extinction. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, no, apparently they're incredibly buttery.
Didn't someone give like Kim Jong-un or his dad a giant rabbit as like a gift, and they ate it or something? So it caused like a diplomatic incident.
That's hilarious.
That's amazing though. Can you eat giant tortoise? Is that endangered? Is that a thing?
It's endangered. You can't eat that. No. It's just amazing. I think it took them something like 6 months to a year to name it because they couldn't get it back. No, more than that. Must have been more than that. But it was a really long. The actual time escapes me, but it was a really long time.
I look forward to when they get this cloning stuff sorted, so we can start cloning like woolly mammoths and stuff. Not because I'm a conservationist or I care.
You want to eat it?
I just want to taste it. Yeah, I want to see what it tastes like.
Oh, God.
Why not?
We can just wave goodbye to the vegans. This is
well, yeah, it could be all ethical or whatever. You can grow it in a lab. You're not vegetarian or anything.
I'm not vegetarian. No.
Would you?
Although I am trying to lower my meat consumption.
I feel it's good if you eat less meat. For health,
for health, environment, everything. You know,
meat's amazing.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. You know, I've got a fun story about dying from overeating.
Oh God.
No. So the guy didn't die, but I used to be a waiter at a restaurant in Australia, and I was there for a year. I worked 6 months in this restaurant. There was a guy, a very rich guy, he was a wine merchant, and he was really, really, really fat.
Yeah,
really fat. And
I feel like if you're a wine merchant, you like the finer things.
Yes, exactly. He would come in for lunch.
If my wine merchant wasn't fat, I'd be like, "What's up?"
The key we can take away from that, you have a wine merchant.
No, sorry. If my wine merchant, not implying that I have a wine. I would love a wine. Let's get wine merchants.
If one's wine merchant.
Yeah.
No, but so this guy was really fat. He used to come in for lunch and then he'd come in for dinner into the kind of restaurant where you use like half a ton of butter on each and every plate.
Yeah.
And he got a gastric band to withhold how much he could eat. I don't know, for those that are not familiar, a gastric band is a small band that they put around your stomach, basically makes the stomach smaller, right? so you feel full.
Okay.
And he burst his gastric band by eating too much and continued to eat and eat and eat, and he was morbidly obese, got a second gastric band. They said he basically, normally you go on like a list to get a gastric band. He just paid it. He went and got it. He's a wine merchant, and
fine wine.
He burst his second gastric band, and then he gave up. He just went, you know what, whatever. Like, I'm gonna be fat. This is no good. So yeah, you can. Well, he survived overeating, but I'm not sure for how long. I don't know if he's still ticking.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah,
dude, that was the Darwin Awards. If you like this. Viewers at home, let us know if you like the Darwin Awards. Use the comments. Send us hit me up on Twitter at Simon Whistler. You've got a Twitter, right?
Yes, this is Sam Myers.
Spell your last name because it's confusing.
Meyers. Meyers.
Getting good at those plugs, man. Let us know what you think of the Darwin Awards, everybody. Let us know what you think of this show.
Give us a review, preferably 5 stars.
Yeah, that's right.
We
moved silky smooth into today's outro. It's pretty good.
Pretty good. I think we're getting there with this.
We are.
Yeah.
Review us. Do all of that good stuff. We'll be back in a couple of days with another brand new episode. We appreciate you listening.
See you later, y'all.
See you later.